All right, Mr. Shell, before the court for sentencing.
Your Honor, I did review the PSI with Mr. Shell. A couple of things that struck me that I discussed with him as well. Your Honor, I know the court clearly reviews these. I went to the offender statement and I discussed the nature of that with Mr. Shell. And Your Honor, I think the court's aware that there were some unusual circumstances with this case and the involvement of Me Too versus I've shown up here to court. However, upon speaking further to Mr. Shell, we would acknowledge culpability and we would acknowledge, again, his guilty, Judge.
Okay.
Your Honor, there is also a matter of custody time credit. This can be difficult to calculate when somebody's being extradited from another state. We understand that. Mr. Shell does have paperwork and he actually signed that tradition waiver on August 26, 2024. So we do think that that might give him some additional custody time credit as well, Judge.
Okay. How much additional?
Judge, he was, I believe, booked in at MCDC on September 6th.
So we're not in the 272 range or anything?
No.
Okay. All right.
Judge, all of that being said,
yes,
we would request the privilege of probation in Mr. Shell's case.
Okay.
And that would be based on several different factors. He does have a stable residence, I think back in his hometown, if I'm not mistaken, Judge. I know that one of his biggest concerns, as he mentions in the PSI, is to get out and take care of his mother, who's very ill. And he realizes that he would not be able to go from state to state without permission, probation and parole. And he has accepted that. He's willing to certainly follow any directives of probation and parole there, Judge. He does also, I think, have extensive work experience, and I don't think he'd have any difficulties obtaining employment. Judge, in terms of his risk score, we believe it came back as a 15 moderate, which is, I think, certainly on the lower end of moderate. And I would note as well for the court that, to my knowledge, and as indicated in the PSI, this is his first felony. He understands the implications and consequences of that. So, Your Honor, we would submit that that is an additional penalty here naturally, as well as the amount of time that he has served at this point, which is close on to 6 months, we believe, Your Honor. I've reviewed with him that the serve out here would likely end up being another couple of months, although that is not a guarantee, naturally. He is aware of that, and he is still requesting that privilege of probation, and he is still willing to submit himself to those directives of probation and parole.
Mr. Smith.
I was concerned somewhat about the offender statement. If he says that he's not guilty, I don't think we ought to find him guilty if he's innocent. So, Mr. Thomas, does he acknowledge that he's guilty? Or
yeah.
Given the amount of time that he's got in, I don't disagree with Mr. Thomas. He would be served out and done probably in a month and a half, 2 months. I think probably being on supervision may benefit in society.
Okay. I reviewed the PSI. He has let's say he has in excess of 160 days custody credit. Well, I'm just saying in excess.
Yes, sir.
Because you are saying more, and I only have what's in front of me. So he has in excess of 160 days. No prior felonies, 15 moderate. As he's brought to the court's attention before, but as is indicated here, he is a veteran and has a decent employment history. You know, there's a lot of noise from outside of court related to this case, but I can only judge what's in the court file and what's in the PSI without objection from the Commonwealth. I will go ahead and probate Mr. Shell 1 year for 2 years. It's going to be subject to the standard conditions of probation and parole. I don't know where you intend to live, Mr. Shell, so all I want to say at the first part of this is you'll have to start out by reporting to Richmond Probation and Parole Office. If you're given orders or directions or you're planning to transfer, you have to really follow that process deliberately. If you don't get to the right places at the right time, they'll ask me to issue a warrant. Okay? So just make sure you report to Richmond Probation and Parole Office, follow standard guidelines of probation supervision, follow all the directions of your probation officer. You pay a monthly supervision fee, monthly drug and alcohol testing fee, and from time to time you might be subjected to random drug and alcohol testing. You have no further violations of the law, maintain full-time employment, pay court costs within 6 months. From time to time, depending on what's going on in your life, you might be directed to complete a class, do some type of programming or workbook. Of course, if your probation officer has decided that's necessary for you, you need to follow their directions and complete that programming. Okay? The other 2 things here based on information from the PSI, well, actually it's just one thing. In reviewing the PSI, I don't see it necessary to do a social service clinician assessment at this time. There's not anything in his record that indicates any type of substance use disorder or alcohol use disorder. However, I would like for you to do a mental health assessment just to make sure that you have any needs identified and can be working on them while you're on supervision so that you actually have a good opportunity to succeed here. And that means working on yourself sometimes, right?
Yes.
All right. Anything else from Mr. Shell?
No, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank you,
Mr.
Judge.
Shell, see probation parole before you leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.